I think it's going to be a tough fight.
I think it really is going to be a war.
Well, I think if he beats Nery, I think he can beat any of these.
Inoue is a better technical boxer, and I think can box his socks off.
But I think in a way is too good.
I just think, like you said, I think Nery's got nothing to lose.
He knows what he's there for.
Yeah, man.
Nobody's stupid.
If he beats Inoue, like knocks him out, they better get security in the ring quick.
I'm not sure there's enough security.
He could cause Inoue a few problems. I really do believe that.
Welcome back to BoxCast. Today we're going to be discussing the upcoming fight between Naoya Inoue and Nery, which we're both excited about, I think.
Yeah,
very.
Should be a good fight.
So I'll start with the tail of the tape. Okay, so the fight is going to be on the 6th of May in the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo. I think it's the first fight there for quite a while, I think, isn't it? And then, so the record, Inoue's is perfect, 26 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws. Inoue is 35 wins, 1 loss, 0 draws.
Nery,
sorry. Yep. So Inoue's had 26 fights, Nery has had 36 fights. Inoue has got 23 wins by KO, so at 88%, I think, record. And Nery has had 27 wins by KO. Naoya Inoue is slightly older. He's 30 years old. And Nery is 29. In terms of height, they're both the same. They're 5'5". Inoue is 164 centimeters. Nery is 165. It's probably a bit of rounding up or rounding down going on there.
Yeah.
In terms of reach, Inoue has an advantage. He's 68.1 inches, 173 centimeters. And Nery is 65 inches and 165 centimeters. Weight, well, this is super bantamweight, so it's 122 pounds, so they're around about 55 kilos. In terms of stance, Inoue is orthodox and Nery is a southpaw. Now, there's quite a lot of belts at stake here, which I didn't know. I thought it was less, but there's the IBF World Junior Featherweight, the WBC World Super Bantamweight, the WBA Super World Super Bantamweight, bit of a mouthful, WBO World Junior Featherweight, and the WBA Super World... Oh, no, I've written that one, but it's 5.
The Ring magazine on there as well.
Probably Ring magazine as well on there. Let me just check. Yeah, 4. I think that is... The Ring isn't actually on there, but I think in a way is the Ring champion, isn't he? So, yeah. Should we start with that? Bit of context should we give first? I think one of our fans, one of our viewers gave us a little bit of context of this. The reason he's fighting him next is because I think it's like a revenge match for Japanese. Nery had a fight against the Shinsuke Yamanaka in 2017 and 2018. He beat him both times, but he afterwards tested positive for various substances. So I think in Japan he's viewed as a cheat, and this is basically Inoue to lay... I think the plan is for Inoue to publicly humiliate him and lay a beat down on him is what we've been told, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts, Simon?
I think this is going to be Inoue's toughest fight he's ever had.
Yeah. I think Nery is a good fighter.
Might
be a cheat, but he's a good fighter. And he was unbeaten until, I think it's only Brendan Figueroa has beaten him.
Yeah, caught him with a body shot.
Yeah. Although Nery started well in that fight, and then I think Figueroa turned it around. And Figueroa is an awkward fighter and
he's
relentless.
Yeah, Nery's relentless. He never stops throwing punches. Yeah. He looks quite slow as well, but he's not. He's got good timing, but he's, like I say, he's just relentless, throws punches. I think he'll go to war.
Yeah.
Against Inoue. And I think it's going to make it a fantastic fight.
Yeah. I hope so. Well, I don't think he's going to give up that easily. And Inoue he's obviously got extra motivation. And we've seen him when he goes to... He doesn't give up either, obviously, with Nonito Donaire, which was his toughest fight to date, probably. Well, toughest in that he's got injured and everything else and carried on. I think Tapalis was probably a tough fight in terms of
Yeah, Tapales was a really tough fight.
Gave it a really, really good go. And I'm expecting something similar here, I think, where the guy won't give up.
What it'll be now is, Inoue, is this his third fight at this weight?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've grown into the weight a little bit more now. I think against Tapales, I think it caught him off guard how strong Tapales was.
Yeah.
And it's a different kettle of fish moving up in weight, although it's only a few pounds. The naturally bigger guys.
I think that naturally, it's like a Filipino or a Mexican. They're tough.
Yeah.
They don't just roll over. And I think Tapales was. I think a lot of people expected it to be easier than it was. When Tapales is actually a really good fighter, and he wasn't going to lie down. He went out on his shield. It was a really good performance. I think Inoue was Inoue, but he seems to be getting better.
I think
he's more efficient, isn't he?
And he's more efficient. I mean,
what he's doing, he just seems to be edging.
Nery will just keep throwing punches and throw punches and throw punches. And Nery gets caught with punches to the head and the body. He hasn't got the best defense. I think his best defense is attack.
Yeah. But Inoue's defense since the Nair thing, it seems to be getting better. And obviously his offense is, it's his offense. It's awesome. So I think it's going to be, I think, like you said, I think it's going to be a tough fight. But I think Inoue wins.
I don't think it...
Because shall I give you the some odds I've seen? Well, some predictions by a fair few people. It's 100% KO for Naoya Inoue. And on the betting odds, he's 2-25
on.
And Nery is 7-1.
7-1. Not giving Nery a chance, are they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's not much of a chance. It's a little bit of a chance, but
They're
not much.
Not giving him
That's about
a
the widest odds I've seen for a long, long time in a fight. Especially for somebody who's only lost once, and against somebody who's really good.
Yeah.
And he's got he's a 27, isn't it? What did I say?
But
Knockouts in 35.
Yeah, I think this is.
And he's only had one loss, and he was stopped. And other than that, he's got Yeah,
but I think Nery's made for Inoue. Yeah. The way he comes forward and throws punches, I think that's going to suit Inoue down to the ground.
Person who has a chance against Inoue is if you can defend. If you haven't got a defense, if your defense is just attack, then yeah, I think it makes you're sort of playing into Inoue's game plan, isn't it? But I think you'll give him a good go. I don't think he's going to go. I think he's going to go out on a shield. I don't think he's just going to roll over. A bit like Tapales as well, isn't it? Which should make it a really, really good contest. But I think Inoue wins. Obviously, we're Inoue fanboys. I think Inoue's going to win.
Yeah, I think Inoue will win.
But it's going to be a tough fight.
Yeah,
I think it could be, like you said,
I think it's going to be a war. I think it really is going to be a war. And I think Nery will ask questions of Inoue.
Yeah. But we want to see that. We want to see him develop. It's no good fun, is it, if it's just one-way traffic?
I really do think Nery will ask him a lot of questions. I think both are going to have to dig deep. I think fitness is going to be a massive thing for it.
Well, we know Inoue's in impeccable shape.
A lot of it is...
And Nery looks pretty decent in most of his. I don't think.
He has to be the amount of punches he throws, and he never stops coming forward.
Any chance for Nery then? Should we give it?
There is a chance for Nery. I mean,
how does he beat Inoue?
I think we've got this. Inoue's got an aura about him that he can't be touched. He can be touched and he can be stopped. He's been hurt before in the ring.
Yeah. But I don't know if he can be stopped, but he can be hurt.
No, I think he can be stopped. I think
everybody can be stopped.
Yeah.
But do we think there's anybody at 122 pounds who can stop him?
Look, he's moved up in weight, and like I say, it's a different kettle of fish moving up in weight. These bigger men carry power.
Yeah, I think he realised against Tapales, even though Tapales isn't the biggest 122er.
But they do carry power.
He did
power,
catch him.
sorry.
And make him step back a little bit.
Yeah, there's only a few boxers that move up in the weight that can take the punches. Usually what you find is they'll move up in weight because they're weight drained. I couldn't say Inoue's ever been weight drained in any of his weight classes.
I think he's just naturally growing it too. Well, I think that's why he hasn't just stopped at this division. I think he's taken these fights to grow into the size.
He's going to have to.
Because obviously he's won the belts in 2 fights, which is undisputed. But I think is a little bit of
because moving up to bantamweight. I mean, there's some big punches in the bantamweight division, big punches,
and good fighters, and skilled as well,
knockout artists in that bantamweight.
So I think that's why not to just is it featherweight?
It's junior featherweight, isn't it? It's a super bantam.
Well, that's what he's fighting at now, but I mean, like...
it's a featherweight.
If he goes up in weight, this is obviously people who called for him to just jump up into featherweight. I think this is why he's taking this super bantamweight.
No, I think he's been quite smart in that aspect, and I think he'd have done it a bit sooner, but I think he's realised, hold on, I need to grow into these divisions properly.
Well, he's not rushing, which is good, and what we've been told, he should be having 3 fights this year, isn't it, or thereabouts, depending on obviously how they go, but assuming that he's winning. Then he's got Nery. I think there's MJ. Oh, man. I won't say his full name. Who was the favourite? Well, until Tapalas beat him, that was the guy who probably would have fought to get the other 2 belts. Ahmed Aliyev or whatever his name is, who's a good fighter. And I think there was a bit of shock. He got beat by Tapalas. And then who was the other guy? Nery, Ahmed Aliyev, and there's a third one he's supposed to fight, isn't he? Which one of our...
Australian Goodman, and
yeah.
I think he's ranked like number 3 or number 4 with BoxRec.
So I think they're going to grow him into it, and hopefully he wins all the fights, the 3 fights, and then they'll go to featherweight, which I think is a sensible plan. Let him grow into it more than rushing. He's got no need to rush.
No, he hasn't got a need to rush.
And the interesting thing is all these fighters, the 3 fighters he's got, are all different styles and different, they're good learning experiences, assuming you can beat all of them.
The Saudis come knocking for him.
Well, there's rumours, isn't it, that the next one will be in Saudi. One of his 3 fights will be in Saudi. I think he's already been asked, basically. So,
I mean, I can't
see
any fights at junior featherweight that'd be big enough. It's in a way, isn't it? I think
every fight's big.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who he fights, but I think if he goes to Saudi, it'll be fighting at featherweight against one of the champions.
Well, it may be if he don't. But I think that I don't know whether he's going to go. But I think Saudi have already inquired about doing one for I think Riyadh season, isn't it? In there, so the sort of November time. So one of the 3 fights that he's got planned. I'm just trying to find the other 3rd fighter. I think Ahmed Aliyev is the one that they're sort of saying he could fight over there. MJ.
I mean, he's got to come through Nery first, and that's going to be it's going to be
we're
big fight.
Obviously we're making big assumptions that he's going to win,
and so, like I say, it's a massive fight
based on him winning, obviously. Because Nery was always the first, because this is their revenge one, and I think there's various reasons for this. Ahmed Aliyev is the other name, and I think that's the one they're trying to get in Saudi. And then he's got a 3rd is, who's the other guy? Who's that? Is it Goodman?
Like say you got the Australian Goodman, you got Liam Davis, the British fella, he's in the top 10 ranking.
Casemiro, isn't it? Oh, Sam Goodman, that's it.
Yeah.
So it's basically, there's Nery now, then the Saudi interest is doing, because the WBA mandatories, Ahmed Aliyev, so they're looking at that in September. So that's the one that the Saudis could push. And then in December, there's, one of them. I think one is Goodman, there's Casemiro. I think there's 1 or 2 others. The other, somebody else in that size mix. And then in 2025, he's going to jump up to featherweight, which I think is quite assuming he comes through all of them, I think that's quite a good plan, because then he's grown into 5 fights at the weight. And if he's beaten all the
there's a few
all the men at that.
There's a couple of featherweight I think that beat him.
Well, we'll leave that to when he's featherweight. At the moment, he's super bantamweight.
There's a couple of featherweights I think.
Do you think any of these can beat him? Well, they can. They've obviously got opportunity to beat him. Or should we stick to Nery first, isn't it? What?
I think out of all of them, I'd say Nery's got the most probably the best chance out of the...
Even more than Ahmed Aliyev?
Yeah. the group.
Zach Medali was pretty good fighter.
Yes, I mean, but how
I
many,
think
how many fighters he had?
Tapales.
About 4. How many fighters he had? About 4.
Well, he's name up and come. Well, he's the guy who's supposed to fight, isn't he? Let me just have a look.
I think he's had about 12 fights and he's lost one, hasn't he?
Well, he lost to Tapales, isn't he? Which was a shock.
Wasn't a shock.
Well, I don't think many people expected him. Akhmadaliev was the rising star in that one division, isn't it?
Well, rising stars fall.
Yeah. Well, he did. But because he's quite big and strong at that sort of size, isn't it?
I don't rate him.
Well, I've only seen this one against Tapales. So
No,
I can't say from there because obviously he got beat.
I think anyway.
And it sort of gave me respect for Tapales.
No, I think anyway, take care of him quite easily.
Well, I think if he beats Nery, I think he can beat any of these. I don't think there's...
Yeah, I mean...
Because he's not... I can only see him getting better. I can't see him getting worse.
No, he's not...
12, 13 fights he's had, yeah, so right.
Yeah, so 4. And he's lost one. Yeah, no. Too soon for Inoue.
Yeah, I don't think he beats
Where's
Inoue.
he from?
Uzbek, isn't he?
So they tend to try and bring these lads on dead quick from around Eastern Europe type places, Central Europe, whatever it is. They bring them on really quick, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, because they did. All right, Loma, obviously, yeah, they had about 650 million amateur fights,
Well, him and Usyk they had because the amount of amateur fights, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think a lot of these do have because they do the Olympic side, so they come in because he's 29 as well, even with just 13 fights because they start later. So I think that's why, because they have a good record, is they move them up a bit faster because obviously they haven't got that long to.
I think that's that for a lot of them that's their undoing now, but you know, it has worked for a few fighters, but I just.
Well, I think he was pretty dominant in most of his first few fights. And then even Tapales, he was expected to win. I think he was the favourite. So
Tapales is a dude, man. He's a warrior.
Tapales has come out of there and got his belts. And even against Inoue, he was really, really good. But I think that's he's got better.
The thing with that division is, say, Inoue beats Nery. Is anyone in that division going to want to fight Inoue?
I think for the money. The prestige of fighting him. Well, Akhmadaliev's already called him out.
Or are they basically going to go, hold on a minute, he's got all 4 belts. He's going to move up in a fight or two. Do we just wait and get ourselves into positions where we're going to be fighting for when he vacates all the belts?
Well, there probably will be a few, but I think the thing is this, whoever they fight amongst themselves, none of them are as big a fight as fighting Inoue.
Yeah.
So it's a pay packet, I think. And the prestige. Obviously, if you're fighting, you're going to believe you can beat him. Might not be true. Yeah, but still, you've got to believe you can. So I think a lot of them will give it because it's probably the biggest pay packet they're going to get. Unless they turn into, and if they beat him, they're suddenly superstars.
Yeah.
So I think that it's worth the risk of fighting them. Do I think any of them beat them? No. Not at this weight, I don't think so.
No, not at
I think
this
he's fought the best already. The rated best guy in Fulton, who he was, and then we've done that, the watch along and everything. It was pretty one-sided.
Yeah, I mean, like I say,
I think Tapales gave him a better fight, a tough fight, but even he, got done.
Yeah, but I think Nery's going to give him a really tough fight.
Yeah.
I think
it's going to be similar to the Tapales fight.
Yeah.
And Nery's a little bit more bigger. The Filipinos tend to be a bit slighter. I think he's a proper this weight super bantamweight.
Yeah.
So, as is Akhmadaliev. I think they're all going to be tough fights.
Yeah, I just see this one being a proper war.
I think it's going to be a proper war. Well, I think we're hoping for that as well.
Yeah, I think it is going to be a proper war.
It'd be good afternoon watching, because it's in the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo. I think the Tokyo Dome home's like 50,000. Then they haven't had a fight though. 55,000.
Is it like 10 o'clock in the morning?
Well, the fight will probably be 1 p.m.
Happy days.
In
Saturday.
6th of May is good question.
Bear with us 1 second.
And so we like the Japanese ones because you can watch, and it's on Sky Sports Action, so it's not so bad. We don't have to do this pay-per-view nonsense.
6th of May is a Monday.
Oh, okay.
You'll be in work.
And no comment.
6th of May. I will clear my schedule for the 6th of May.
It's not like a bank holiday or something, is it? Because the first...
oh, no, it is. It's early May bank holiday.
I'm fine. Good. So we can enjoy that.
Yeah, because 2 bank holidays in May, isn't there?
Yeah, the first.
Yeah, so
There's
the first one's the
Monday
6th and then the 27th. There's a bank holiday Monday.
They thought about me, they know these things.
We can do a watch along.
I think we should.
Might do a watch along for you.
If we can arrange it, I think we should do. Because it's a suitable timing. But yeah, I think it should be a really, really good fight.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, it's going to be a good fight.
I don't think it's as one-sided as the 100%
No,
KO. I mean, I do think he's going to win by KO, but I think it'll be a tough battle. I think it's going to drag out a bit as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to drag out.
And there'll be a bit ups and downs for both sides.
I think Inoue's going to target the body.
He's going to try and slow down his punch output.
Yeah, it's not just that.
He does that
I think
anyway.
Figueroa stopped Nery with a body punch. I think Inoue might try and target the same.
And he's got a reach advantage of about 3 inches, so he should be.
He has, but if you look at he has. I mean,
if you see them there, he looks like he's more like barreled.
Yeah,
heavier,
he stands quite funny, Nery, though, doesn't he?
Yeah. It's weird to assess, but he does look like bigger if you see. Because in a way, he still looks light, even though when they weigh, he's normally he's the same height, give or take, and his reach is actually bigger. But Nery does look like he's more, beefed up. So
okay, if it goes to points, there's only one winner, isn't there? In Japan,
yeah.
Unless Inoue got knocked down every single round,
I doubt that it'd go. Yeah.
I'd still think Nery loses on points.
Yeah, I think it would be.
No offense to the judges, but
no, I think it is stacked against Nery, but I think he's like that type of mentality likes it, isn't it? Because he's been there before. That's what because he fought Yamanaka in Japan. That's why he was banned. Actually, we should go into. He's actually banned from Japan, boxing in Japan. This is their special dispensation because obviously they all think that Inoue is going to destroy him. It's like they're trying to publicly humiliate him. I think they're a little bit because they thought he was going to be unbeaten, and then Figueroa's ruined the slapped him down. But this is a fight to basically destroy him. A revenge fight. I don't think Inoue is going to take it like that, but I think that's what the boxing board of, the Japanese Boxing Council or whatever it is, and everybody in Japan is going to be. So I don't think a points is going to be going.
But I think that's what makes Nery quite dangerous in this fight.
He's got nothing to lose. And
no, because he knows he's going over for
he knows why he's been called
cannon
over.
fodder, basically, hasn't he? And I tell you what,
and he's not cannon fodder.
If he starts landing a few, and he has got a bit of, he's got power.
He's got power, yeah.
If he starts landing
a few, boxer and he's got
few
power.
punches,
his defense is a bit, but he's a good boxer.
Then he could cause Inoue a few problems. I really do believe that. But it's Inoue in it.
Oh, 100% in a way by KO. I can't argue against the thing. But I don't think it's unlike the betting odds, I think Nery has got more of a chance. It's closer, I think, than that. And I think it will go to about, similar to Tabales one, 9-10 rounds. I think it's going to take him that long to get him out of there because I don't think he's just
I think Nery's got to try and wind Inoue up. And I know that sounds a bit strange, but I think he's got to try and make Inoue stand in the middle of the ring and go toe to toe.
I think he's got to basically, when you do an away match, this is basically an away match, away fight. He's got to quieten the crowd. I think he's got to do stuff to sort of shut up the crowd or annoy the crowd, get him on.
Yeah, and I think he's got to annoy Inoue.
And the same to Inoue.
Because I think Inoue is a better technical boxer, and I think can boxes his socks off.
As a boxer, in a way,
it's
better in every single way.
Go to Japan. If they're booing and jeering, rise to it, mate.
Well, I think he's the kind who would.
Absolutely rise to it. Soak it in, love it, play for the crowd, play that horrible bad guy. I'd go in with a t-shirt on with when he knocked the other guy. I'd go in with a big printed t-shirt of him on the floor, with Inoue next to him, just proper go for it. Make them hate you. You know,
I think they already do.
Just do it. It'll be absolutely superb. I think he should do it. Really.
Yeah, that's why I think he's going to be dangerous, because I think he's got, like, when it's when you're a cornered animal. And he's you got to remember, he's a Mexican boxer who likes to go forward. So he's a Mexican boxer. Cornered animal. He's very, very dangerous.
But if he beats in a way, like knocks him out, they better get security in the ring quick.
I'm not sure there's enough security in the world.
Mate, they will be blood testing him to death. They'll be
findings.
They will be taking blood from every vein in his body if he knocks Inoue out. Which is quite sad, but they will.
Yeah. But you can understand why as well. So, I mean... Yeah.
No, I look forward
I think
to
it's
this
going to be
fight.
a close fight. I think it's going to be tough, but I think in a way is too good. I think he's too good on all the things. He's got the power. We've seen it carried off.
Yeah.
We know he can battle. We've seen that before, although not. But Tapales gave him a battle. He didn't give up. I think it's going to be similar to that, but a bit more dirty, because I think Nery will give it a bit more gamesmanship, shall we say.
Do you think Inoue wins by knockout?
Yeah. But near the end rounds, I think it's going to be a scrap for 10, 11 rounds, somewhere. 9, 10, 11, I think it's going to be to the latter half. I don't think it's to the 12th, but I think it's going to get close. It might even be like 11th. But normally the only people who get that far are the ones either who really good, like Tapales has got to 9 or 10, and Paul Butler didn't he? But he basically ran for 11 rounds. So I think that's where you have the chance of standing out. But Nery ain't going to do that. His defense isn't good enough to do that. So his defense is attack. He's going to go for a war. The thing is, he's expected to lose. So if you're a cornered animal, you're dangerous. I can't see him backing and going. He's got to fight. And then he's got a chance if he gives it a go.
Yeah.
I just think in a way he's too good.
Okey-doke.
What's your prediction?
Thinking away, I bet takes him out in round 4. Or it goes to points.
Well, he could do like he did to Naoya in the second fight, innit? Where he just, if he puts his pedal to the metal, he could take him out quite fast. If he's suitably motivated, we've seen in a way when he's suitably motivated, he is.
Yeah. But
because he's more respectful when he likes the opponent. I think Tapales he actually liked it with his.
Do not be surprised by a shock in this.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there. Do not be surprised by a shock. That's all I'm saying.
I could see him catching in a way with a few punches, which will, sort of disturb the crowd, shall we say, and probably push in a way back a bit because he's big enough and strong enough to do, and he's got a big punch output. But I think in a way wins. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'll go in a way round 4 or point, but
okay.
I think there might be a surprise, possibly. I'll just throw it out there.
Well, somebody's got to, because everybody else is thinking it's in a way walk.
Gotta think
it's in a way you walk over.
I just think, like you said, I think Nery's got nothing to lose. He's going in there like
he knows what he's there for.
Yeah, man.
Nobody's stupid that they don't know why.
And
he knows he ain't going to get a points decision.
He might be that type of character that goes, "I'm going to love this."
Well, I think he is a little bit. That's why he's taking the fight. And obviously he'll be getting a decent payday, but I think he's taking the fight because he's probably one of those who licks his lips and goes, yeah, I'll give this a go.
Let's see what happens.
And obviously he beat the other guy twice, so although that guy wasn't in a way, so as good as he was.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I look forward to it. I like, obviously, we love watching in a way.
And yeah, if we can, we might arrange a watch along for that.
Yeah, Bank Holiday Monday
It's a good thing to do on a Bank Holiday Monday, and it's on the normal TV, not on
your
the
family
1
people.
o'clock.
Kick the kids. Well, actually, get the kids to watch it.
Yeah, if you want to watch a master at work, and this could be a master at work in a war.
Yeah, it's a good Monday afternoon scrap. This. Do you know what I keep on saying? I'd like to see Inoue fighting like American stuff. Actually, no, because when he's fighting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday, that is superb.
It's perfect.
Absolutely superb. I usually play golf on a Monday, but that's getting cancelled.
Yeah, this is more important.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. If it's completely one-sided, it won't be as much. But I think Nery's going to give it a go, and I think that's what makes it a good contest. And I think it'll be worth watching. And then, because you want to see Inoue go through the gears. You want to see how good he really is.
Yeah, and like I think if he comes through this, don't be surprised.
Well, the other guys might go missing.
Yeah, but like I say, don't be surprised if the Saudis come knocking then.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what they're doing. If he gets through this and he wins, which most people expect, I think then the Saudis are going to come knocking for one of those people.
And no, I think it'll be for the weight. I think it'll be a featherweight.
Well, they might be, but he's not stepping up till that to next year. He's already said they're going to fight 3 fights, isn't it? We've had one of our commenters
for 25 million.
I don't think he needs the money. He is quite like he's like a god in Japan. So
yeah,
so I don't think money is the biggest motivator.
You know, if you put him in front of
maybe 50 million, they might like promote it. Well, I think
I hope he doesn't.
20 million, haven't they?
I hope he doesn't, because I think if he goes to Saudi, if he moves up in weight,
I think he needs to do these 3 fights, at least 2 or 3 at this,
I'd like to say,
settle into it, because it's like you said, he isn't one of those where he looks weight trained. He looks like he's actually going up in those things. And I think if he wants to carry his power and the speed and everything else, I think he needs to do the 3 fights. And I think it's sensible.
And I think he needs to pick his featherweight champion very, very careful.
Yeah, he might not be able to go just for the number 1 guy and do him in.
I would stay away from, is it Ray Ford?
Yeah.
I would stay miles away.
I think there's a few there that you probably want to warm up a little bit before you go for the featherweight.
Do not go near him.
Although I've seen him in an interview and said, look, and I think it's what you said. He realised against the Palace that there's different levels of power as you go up the weight.
No, should be good. Can't wait for it.
Yeah.
Mr. Inoue, the monster, is back.
Yeah, and hopefully fighting 3 times this year, keep him busy. I mean, that's one of the good things we like him. He's kept busy. He's had 2 or 3.
August. He's got to fight May, September.
And then December, January time, isn't it? So December, and then I think they're going to, if he gets through all of them, which I think most people expect, then it's going to be, then step up in weight.
I hope he does fight 3 times.
And then he wants to do 3 times in 2025.
Yeah, I hope he does fight 3 times. That'd be good.
Yeah. Are the belts in featherweight all divided, aren't they? Is everybody unified?
There is. I know,
but I think some of them are going to fight. Some got to fight each other to unify some.
Figueroa's the WBC champion.
He's one of them, isn't he? There's Vargas, isn't it? And who else? Is it Vargas in that weight? There's,
like I say, I know there's Ray Ford. WBO's Rafael Espinoza, IBF Luis Alberto Lopez, WBA Raymond Ford, WBC Ray Vargas, whereas Figueroa's WBC interim featherweight champions. I think Vargas and Figueroa. I'd say Ray Ford, in my opinion, is the best out of all of them.
But they're all tough.
Very, very tough.
Yeah.
And the top 10 for the featherweight
is quite decent. There's some other people in there that are quite good.
And I mean, I know you shouldn't really be jumping the gun, but
it's in the way. We're allowed to.
You've got Lee Ward, Luis Alberto Lopez, Ray Vargas, Espinoza, Ramirez, Figueroa, Mauricio Lara, Josh Warrington, Ray Ford. There's a few really good fighters there.
Yeah.
But yeah, my favourite in that division is Ray Ford. I know he's had a couple of defeats, or a defeat.
I think there's a few dangerous fighters there, isn't it? So that's why I think it's sensible for him to get his fight at this weight, grow into it, and then see if he wants to go. But I think the plan is 3 in this and then 3 in featherweight in 2025.
Sorry, he had a draw, Ray Ford. But yeah, he's my man. I like him.
But I think it also, if he gets through all of these 3, then I think it raises in ways more. Then it'll be like 20, 28, 29 and 0. And if they're all knockouts, then I don't think there's going to be any worry about going. And I would suspect all of these he's going to get. Well, the first 2 I would suspect is going to be knockout. I think it's hard to cope with his pressure for 12 rounds. But yeah, let's see how he goes.
Let's see how
he
goes with Nery first. Yeah, it's good.
But do you think Nery's better than Fulton or Tapales? Because Figueroa beat him, Fulton beat Figueroa with boxing rather than the power.
Problem with
but you can't really.
The problem with Fulton was he disappointed me so much against Inoue that
But do you think that's him or just how good Inoue was?
No, I think he crapped himself basically. And he
was pretty confident in the things going in.
Yeah, but then he got in the ring and he just looked. I wasn't impressed by him at all.
Well, I think he started okay, and then he got hit in the face, as the old famous saying. And then he realised this guy can actually punch.
I think
because he got through his defences pretty easily.
I mean, do you know what? Taking away out of it, Fulton to Palace, great fight. Nery to Palace, that's a great fight. You know, put Liam Davis in the mix against a couple of them. There's some really good fights there. If you're taking in that division, if you're taking away out of it, really good fights.
Like an exception, isn't he? So he's an exception to the rule. You know, he's just out. But I think he beats all of them. I don't think there's anybody there. I think they're all tough fights.
I think
they're real tough fights, but I think he beats all of them. I
do think he beats
none of them are better boxers than he is. Fulton was the boxer in that division, and he basically destroyed him. Tapales has got a big heart, so even if you say these guys got heart, I don't think anybody's going to have more heart than Tapales. He's a little bit smaller. Both Nery and Ahmed Ali are a little bit bigger, and they have power. You know, and he's got a good KO percentage in it, 27 out of 36 fights, 27 out of 35 wins. So it's decent, not as good as Inoue's, but that's.
But if a couple of the likes of Liam Davis is the UK fighter, you know, if he has a couple of fights and becomes a mandatory, he could be a mandatory for Inoue. Yeah. So Inoue might be forced to fight one of the mandatories.
Well, I think the third fight will be one of those.
Could be a mandatory.
I think the next two is probably going to be these two guys because I think that's what they wanted to fight.
He's getting a bit like Canelo in a way, isn't he? In a way, you can you go, I'm fighting him next, and if he says he's fighting someone, he's fighting them.
Well, as we've said, isn't it? The pound for pound, he's in the top two, isn't it? There's Crawford and then him. And then I think if he cleans up this division and goes to the next one, then you know, although Crawford's jumping up in weight as well, so we'll see who gets there first. Mm-hmm. But I think that they're just so good that it's a little bit tricky to fight people because you've got to, you know, there's not really people at their own natural weight that, you know, he's gone through everybody. And people underrate him because they don't know who he's fought against. But if you actually look at some of the fighters, his resume is it's epic.
I think he's put himself on the map now. I don't think you can argue with that.
Yeah. And I think if he goes through all of these at this weight, you know, by the end of this year,
I think he will go through that division. There'll be tough fights, but I think he'll go through it.
I think all of them are tough, whoever they have. But I think he's rise up to a challenge. He doesn't need the easy ones. I don't think it's a pay packet because he's the biggest draw out of all of them. So, you know, and he makes, you know, he looks like a poster boy. He makes plenty.
Oh, he's Japan's poster boy, isn't he? I mean, I bet in Japan he is huge.
Yeah, he is huge.
Right, and I mean huge. I don't think people have an idea of how big this guy is in Japan. He is, you know, massive.
He's like a demigod, basically.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is the reason this fight is because he's their, like, you know, manga character to fight the guy who's, you know, insulted them. So basically, and it isn't that far. That sounds bad, but it's not that far from that.
It's not.
So, and I think that's why, but they've been sensible to go through to build him up. And then if he carries the power and his speed, you know, we know he's got the speed and all the boxing skill. And I think all of these will pose him different challenges. And Nery's going to be a challenge. So, you know, if he gets through it, I think it's a big achievement. And it's another big name on his resume. And then probably Ahmed Ali, another big name, although, you know, you don't rate him, but I think he's, in boxing world, he's a reasonable big name in that weight class. And then Goodman or somebody like that, they'll get the next best.
Yeah, like I say, I think there'll be a mandatory, possibly.
Well, I think that's why it's going to be one of them, whoever it is. Goodman's one. I think there's the other.
Although if it's an IBF mandatory, the IBF can throw proper random mandatories in. That someone that you've never heard of.
Well, I think he's like Canelo in that they'll pick the fights that are actually worthwhile doing, and I think there's reasoning behind all of them to get like different style and different.
He might drop a couple of belts. If that's the case, if he doesn't think the mandatory suit, and it's not that he'd be afraid to fight it, it's just that if the fight isn't to the magnitude that he wants, I think he'll drop it.
I don't think he's going to waste this fight. No. So I think this one is because there's specific reasons, but I think also it's a good contest. If you're going to fight people of this weight, that's a good guy to fight because obviously he's got a pretty damn good record.
Yeah, I think he's ranked number.
He's ranked highly, Nery in most of them. He's
I think
the
ranked
number one in WBA.
Yeah, I think he's ranked number 4 or 5 in BoxRec. So, or maybe even number 3 or 4 or 5. I think one of the two.
Well, they're all ranked, aren't they? Because I think Ahmed Aliyev's the WBA number 1. Who's the other one? I did have it up the list. Nery's like. Just let me bring it up. Wrong thing. I'll tell you what he is. He's number 1 WBC. So he's the mandatory for that. He's number 2 in the WBO. He's number 5 in WBA and the number 5 in the ring. So he is highly rated.
Yeah.
Which,
it's going to be good.
He usually finishes most of his people fairly quick. So, it's not like a nobody. And what did I say? And Ahmed Aliyev's like number 1 in WBC, and then I think it's Goodman's and number 1 in one of the others, isn't he?
It's good.
Yeah, he's WBA number 1, number 3 IBF, number 3 Ring, number 6 WBO, and number 4 WBC. Actually, should we get the rankings? Boxing rankings. Let's see what they are on this.
Inoue, Fulton, Makhachev,
light heavyweight.
Nery,
Let's scroll down a bit. It's near at the bottom of the weight list. Where are we at now? Featherweight. Okay, yeah, we can bring up we can discuss featherweight as well. Right, obviously Inoue, numero uno. Well, he's a champion of all of them.
Yeah.
Fulton is still number 1.
Yeah, I thought so.
Tapales is number 2.
Tapales too.
Ahmed Aliyev is number 3. Goodman is number 4. And Nery's number 5. So he's basically going to go through the top 5.
Yeah.
So that's why I think they're on the list here. Davies is number 7.
Yeah.
I think Pierce is number 8, isn't the one they've said.
Some Irish fella up there as well. Is it Downey, Doherty? I've forgotten his
Doheny.
Downey. Yeah.
Well, I hope that's how you say it.
Yeah.
It looks like that. It's Doherty minus the RT. Unless they've spelt it wrong.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're based on. Unless that changes, I think that's going to be Nery, Ahmed Aliyev, and then probably Goodman. Unless Goodman or whatever gets beat December. So that's his 3. And then, and then if you go in sort of featherweight, well, the top guy is not, there isn't anybody who's the...
Lee Wood.
So, Lopez is number 1 ranked. Lee Wood is number 2. Vargas is number 3. Ball is number 4. So we got 2 of them in the
Little
top
Ball.
4.
He's a machine, that man.
Yep.
Nick
And
Ball.
Figueroa is number 5. Espinosa is number 6. Ford, your guy, is number 7. Ramirez, number 8. Josh Warrington, 9. And Villa. So we got 3 British fighters in the top there. So we got a bit of interest in that division.
I think in the Queensbury matchroom.
3 Mexicans.
In the Queensbury matchroom 5v5, I think featherweight's one of the weights they're fighting at, aren't
Well, there's
they?
a lot there that they all look really close.
So you got, I think, is it Nick Ball who's with Queensbury? Ray Ford's with Matchroom. That could be on one of the 5v5s. So wait and see.
Well, I think that this is going to change, obviously, because there's nobody who's the man. So I think the plan is to go through the top 5 in a way. So you build into that weight. He's gone past the number 1 and the number 2 ranked. So he's on the base. He's gone for the number 5 now. Then he's going to go to number 3, probably, and number 4. However that ranks, you can change the rankings, but and then featherweight should sort itself out by then.
Yeah.
But most of them look pretty close on paper, at least, or on the screen. I don't know. There's a standout one of those. You like Ford?
Yeah, I like Ford. Although Little Ball is Nick Ball. He was a little. He's a tank.
Lee Wood is good, isn't it? Ball is good.
Yeah, but I think the thing with Lee Wood,
he's been beaten a few times.
Lee Wood's coming
to
the end of his career now,
and Warrington as well, isn't it? Really,
Warrington. He's coming to the end. I mean, the big fight for that is
Ball is the more up and coming one out of that.
So we shall see.
Figueroa is probably going to have some in that. Vargas looked quite good. Well, Vargas Ball is the one we've seen, isn't it? Into the fight.
Yeah, there could be a rematch for them, I think.
That was a close fight. So yeah, there's a few in there that are. But I think if Inoue carries power, I think he beats all of them as well. It's just if he can go up to that weight. If he cleans this one out, I think he cleans all of them. Out of them lot, I don't think there's anybody there who's going to beat him.
Oosh, bold claim, but you're wrong.
I might be, but we need some comments. So let's throw it out there. So, yeah, okay. So, should we leave that one there? I think, in a way, and if we can, we will try and do a watch along. But, yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Is it 100? Are you all agreement that it's 100%?
Inoue to win.
The bet odds are like that as well. 2-25 on and 7-1 against.
Let's find out.
Yeah, I think he's the heavy favourite. I think it'd be a fair big shock if Nery won. Although if he be, I think, less biased, I think Nery is a very, very good fighter. So, it should be a bit closer than that. But yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah. So let us know your thoughts, who you think is going to win. Like, subscribe, all the usual goodness. Who you think are going to fight next, if, assuming he goes through this. And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much for listening and watching.